So now we are going to do the rope. Now the angle of holding is 45 degrees as you see here, and that's an open star. So I've just fitted with an open star nozzle, and now I'm just going to start doing. As you observe how the rope goes, the first one is an inverted U, and they are all separate shells basically done in different shapes. So you start with an inverted U, and then all the others here are S done on sideways. Each of this is a separate shell in the shape of S. Okay. So to start with, I'm just going to do an inverted U. As I end the U, I'll just taper down. Okay. And then as I start, I'm just going to go inside of the U, lift the nozzle, go over the tail, squish as much buttercream as I want, then come down and then taper it. Now, as I am going over the tail, you can see the gap that is formed where the tail of the first rope's shell, and then this is an inverted S. So you start with the inverted U, and all the others are S on sideways. And as you go over the tail, you have to lift the nozzle and go over the tail of each of the shells that you pipe, and you have the gap, the cave, the cavity that is formed, and that is exactly where you will start the next one. So you need to be sure that you need to start from within that and then go over the tail that is formed. Okay. So now I'm just going to, so now you see the angle, this should have been 45, but it is not 90 here, but I just want to start from within that cave that is formed with a S on the sideways, and after which I'm just going to lift my hand, squeeze as much buttercream, otherwise it's going to cut. You want the S without any disconnection. So go from within, lift, go over that and retain the shape of the S on the sideways, and then you get the tail and then taper down. So start from inside, squish, lift the nozzle, squeeze as much buttercream, S on sideways, come down for the tail and then taper down. Now here in this gap, you see, you can actually see the tail of the previous shell here, right? And that is where the connection is going to be, and that is what is going to make this look like rope. It is not a continuous design, obviously, right? We have to give the illusion that it looks like a rope, and so this tail will be seen only when you are going to lift and go over that tail of the previous shell that you piped in the S on the sideways. Okay, so I'm just going to continue doing that for the entire row. Start from within the gap, touch from within the gap with the tail of the previous one, squeeze, go over the tail, finish the S, and similarly continue to do that. So start from where I left. So lifting and going over the tail of the previous shell is important, and retaining the S. So like I said, there is an S, it is for us to understand what shape we need to pipe. But just in case you are going to really have an S doing there, which is the S is going to be like this, right? This is the actual S on sideways. But what we are doing here is this. It is not too deep a curve as you are going to do the S. Now, if you are going to do this proper S as you pipe, then your rope is not going to look great. Okay. So, let me just scrape this part. I'm going to continue. So, observe how the nozzle goes over the tail, and that's a S which doesn't have like too deep turns. So start from within and then go over. Okay, so we have one rope made, and you will continue doing this. Make one rope that is proper, get approval, and after that is done, do 3 rows of rope that looks exactly the same all through, and with that we would have done making rope piping practice. Catch you on the other one.